Welcome back. I'm here with Ashley Haynes, who's an 8th grade teacher at the Hazard Middle School, and she's done a lot of interesting projects, but specifically you've got something dealing with swivel technology. So Ashley, tell us what that project is.
The title of my project this year is Flipping and Swiveling in 8. And I decided after reviewing the HMS attendance committee data from last year that there was some kids who were chronically absent. And this year on the MobyMax math placement test, it was indicative that obviously they were below grade level. And so I wanted to try something a little different to hopefully bring them up to par with everybody else. And so my research question is, will recording my lessons, posting those on Google Classroom, will that improve student achievement for those students who are chronically absent?
And so the terms of the grant, that's what you're asked to do, is pose a question, and then come up with the strategies, implement that, and then evaluate it at the end. So in the fall, in October, you present, here's what your plan was. You got feedback from other teachers and colleagues about how to do it. So how has the project worked?
It's been awesome this year. I wish I had done it actually in years prior, because it not only helped my students who are chronically absent, but it helped everyone in 8th grade. I looked at MAP scores, the measurements of academic progress assessment scores for not just those students who I identified as being chronically absent, but the entire grade level as a whole. And I noticed at the beginning of the year, I used the round one of the test for the baseline. I had like 31% of kids who were proficient or distinguished. And at the last faculty meeting, my principal released our final round of MAP scores, and I was very shocked to hear that it had jumped to 86% proficient or distinguished. So also when I look back at just the individual MAP scores for those 4 students, they had all improved in math. Student perception surveys, I did those prior to project implementation and after. Students prefer the flipped classroom environment over the traditional teacher-led lessons.
And when you say flipped classroom, what do you mean by that?
Well, basically, with the traditional teacher-centered environment, as you know, the teacher gets up in front of the room and lectures, and the student goes home and does the homework. With the flipped classroom environment, it's flipped, so they are watching my videos at home, and when they come to school, they're engaged in more student-centered activities that are more interactive. So it could be stations, it could be projects, it could be task card activities. And sometimes, like even in class, I would let them watch the videos in class while I took a small group and just worked with them one-on-one. So I used it in a variety of ways, but I mainly wanted to focus on those 4 kids, but it actually helped all of my kids.
When you were in middle school and high school, was this type of learning environment strategies implemented?
No. No. Like I said, it was more the traditional teacher-centered environment where the teacher stands up in front of the classroom, lectures, you go home, do the homework assignment, come back, and it's kind of the same sit and get scenario every day. I realized that worked for me, but that didn't necessarily work for everybody else that I went to school with in terms of their learning style. So I feel like this accommodates pretty much everyone. And the best part is, even when a student is absent, they have that constant accessibility of the content. Whereas, if you're absent in a teacher-led environment and you miss the whole 45-minute lecture or whatever, you're a day behind. And then if you're out a week for the flu or whatever, then you just keep getting more and more and more behind. So I feel like by doing this, it's benefiting everyone, because even if they're not absent, my kids said, well, I would go back and watch the videos prior to doing, this online module assignment, or I would go back and watch the videos prior to a quiz or test. Sometimes I would even use those videos, I would embed clues into those for breakout EDU. Are you familiar with Breakout with the escape room
Yeah.
for the classroom? Sometimes I would embed those into those videos. And, I just think as a whole, it benefits every kid. It's not just for this type of learning.
Well, and you're able to do this because of the professional development that's occurred to you. And as we know, as budgets have been cut, professional development is one of those things that uh, for retraining for teachers
Right.
is not, the dollars aren't there. Why is it important for teachers like yourself to have those opportunities to get training and new techniques in order to work with your students?
Um, I feel like having been a part of KBEC, prior to teaching at Hazard Independent, I was not a part of KBEC. And since that time, I have been attending the blended learning PANs, the math PANs, the Renaissance Academy trainings. And that's where I have learned all these innovative strategies. Like, I don't just come up with this stuff on my, I network with other teachers and KBEC presenters to learn these things. If we don't have that, I could, I do spend a lot of time trying to research things on the internet and so forth, but as teachers, we have so many other things on our plate that we don't really have that much time to spend hours and hours and hours on research. So I do benefit greatly from networking with other teachers who are part of KBEC. And like I said, it's only because I've been attending the blended learning PANs, the math PANs, the Renaissance Academy trainings, coming here to the Fire Summit, going to the promising practices. That's the only reason that I've been able to come up with these innovative strategies and so forth.
And these innovative strategies for our viewers are absolutely essential because 10 years ago, or around that time frame, when we really emerged more into the global economy, our students are not competing just with other students in that region, that county or that region or the state, but it's in the nation and in the world.
Absolutely.
So our students their game has to be up, and therefore our teachers' game from teaching has to be up.
Exactly. I mean, if we're going to prepare our students, we have to be innovative teachers ourselves to get them prepared for that. And people will say, well, they're just a little school from Eastern Kentucky, but I think it's pretty amazing what everyone in this area does in terms of innovative strategies.
Yeah. And that's the purpose of today's event, is to showcase the exciting work that teachers are doing. So you can go to these other presentations and you can learn from them. But folks, our school districts collectively are leading the state in graduation rates. They're leading the state in college and career readiness. So, a lot of times there's that image that Eastern Kentucky's lagging behind in other areas.
Right.
But in K-12 education, we're exceeding.
Exactly.
Well, hey, Ashley, thank you so much for being on our program.
Thank you.
Okay.